Episode 212. Last week, if you listened to the episode, Nick got the last words. Because he called in and the way I was set up, he kept going. He was laughing and talking and saying, Ben, you're off the show. I think it was Yankees. He had to do something to the Yankees.
Yeah, anybody go back and listen. That's a glimpse into the after show. You caught a couple seconds of at least one-sided of it because you can't hear the rest of us, just Nick.
That's right. You hear Nick laughing and we're saying stuff. We're like, whoa, were we live? And it was just Nick. But welcome to the show, everybody. We are officially in the off-season. Wow. We've had weather, like weird weather up here in the Northeast. No rain for months, it seems. I know a lot of other places got hit with hurricanes and stuff. And then we had temperatures like averaging in the mid 70s, which is crazy for October, like late October. And then again this week, Ben, you're right here in the same town as me. We're getting into the 70s again. I think tomorrow or the next few days. In November.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped about it. I'm hyped.
Crazy. So
shout out global warming helping us out so far.
So disc golf team challenge is a thing up here in the Northeast. Ben, you're on a team, right? You play for a team on Maple Hill. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you play on a team?
Too buff.
No.
Yeah. Paul Crayons, everyone, he's on my team.
Yep.
On my team. I'm on his team. Harry Chase, a lot of other good players, and we play for the Cup. We're in the A pool, hoping to take it down again. We're going up to Maine next week. Long story short, we're in what the off season is for everybody else, but it's the main season for not Maine. It's the primary season for disc golf team challenge in the Northeast. That includes New York all the way up through New England. Anyways, so preparing for that. The weather here does not say anything about what the weather will be like when we get to December and January, February. Josh, how are you doing?
Good. Speaking of weather, this time of year, last Thursday, Halloween. Some of us have kids, some of us don't. Trick-or-treating in 70 degrees in New England, that's a little unusual. Ben, did you do anything for Halloween?
Yeah, I dressed up as Ron Weasley.
I thought you were going to say Ron Burgundy.
No, I dressed up as Ron Weasley, and my fiance was Hermione, and Nick Carl's cousin was Harry Potter. So
I saw a picture online, and maybe this is just full blown risk or not. Like maybe I'll out myself because I don't really know who you dressed up as. I mean, I know you just told me, but
Ron Weasley.
Weasley.
But who's that? Am I supposed to know who that is?
Yeah, that's crazy. Have you seen Harry Potter?
Oh, well, this is why. No, I have not.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, I know who Harry Potter, but no, I have not enough to be able to tell you.
So he's like Harry's best friend and basically the second main character of the entire, I don't know, it's tied between him and Hermione, but the main three are Hermione, Ron, not you, not
Josh.
So I partially outed myself. Maybe I'll go. That's a good movie series. I got to pick that up with my kids. Maybe we'll go back and.
It's actually decent. I don't think I've watched it straight through like Star Wars, but I've watched them enough to feel like they're pretty good.
I just watched.
I know I'll enjoy.
I started the Star Wars series. I just watched the first Star Wars ever released 2 days ago.
Wait a second. We got to do a little sidetrack here. First one, as in. Number one.
First one released, as a number 4.
Okay, as the released. Okay.
Yeah,
that was the first time I've ever seen it, and we're starting the trend. Yeah,
Wait a second.
Or not the trend.
First
we're starting
time you've seen it?
Good work.
The series, yeah. So I've seen.
What?
I've seen
all the wows today.
We're different generations on this call. Which is fine.
I've seen like bits and pieces here and there, and I've seen one fully. It's with the whole like Anakin one. I think it's maybe I don't want to spoil. Honestly, if you haven't seen Star Wars, it's when Anakin like gets burnt and stuff like that. I watched that one, but other than that, I haven't seen anyone else.
Wow.
So, I mean, but that obviously it's a timeless classic, but that's a 1977 movie. 1977.
Actually, now that I said that, don't spoil it for me. Because I haven't seen it. I just said it like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like people, if you haven't seen it already, it's Star Wars. But yeah, actually, should have said that by myself.
Just went through it. Literally in the last couple months with my kids, all of them. At least all the primary.
So that's what I'm doing.
So, all right.
So I did Lord of the Rings like 3 months ago.
We'll talk about it in a couple months.
Well, I was just going to ask. I think the listeners here, hopefully they're enjoying a little bit of this off-season content. They feel like they get to know us a little bit better. But I want to shout out, there's still disc golf happening. There was an A tier called the Myrtle, I think it's Myrtle Beach Open.
Myrtle Beach Open, yep.
Shout out to Chad Sullivan. Chad, you listen sometimes. If you got this far, 5 minutes in, good job. We're talking about your event. Chad Sullivan, he's also the right-hand man to the USDGC happening every year. But he ran this event, Myrtle Beach Open. And the reason why I'm specifically shouting out is because there are some touring players that hit that up. Joel Freeman took it down. Good for him. There were other notable players, Kayla Viska, Ezra Robinson, I think Evan Scott. You'll see a whole Nico LaCastro, whole bunch of players. But one who you may not be familiar with, but we're very proud to know from this neck of the woods.
Yes.
I want to say 14. If you're in the chat, Wyatt or Melissa. Wyatt came up through an organization Josh and I put together 5 or 6 years ago called Kids Disc Golf.
You're the reason he's so good.
No. We're not the reason.
He was already good.
Yeah, he was great, which is why we wanted to create opportunities for tournament play for kids. And just to see what he is continuing to do, you always kind of wonder when you see a kid playing well, right? Like I did this with my own kids, specifically Tanner and Hunter. But like you wonder, okay, they're good in the kid scene, but how far will they take it? Well, Wyatt just went head to head with some of the best. I mean, think of this. Ezra Robinson, who is one of the hottest players all year. Wyatt Mahoney tied him second place, 2 strokes behind Joel Freeman. That is incredible. So shout out Wyatt Mahoney. He averaged at 14 years old, 1,041 rated over the event. That is crazy. So shout out Wyatt. You're really doing well. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Incredible.
Congratulations. Yeah.
I want his rookie card whenever it comes out. It's going to be worth a lot.
I mean, I can't say enough about that, guys. I know we're getting more used to like young players doing well on tour and like Gannon, but like how many times has Gannon come along? And I'm not going out of my way to say Wyatt is the new Gannon, but I will say he's doing Gannon things at the same age that Gannon was. I don't know what else to say. So I'm not going to call anything right now. Like, hey, multiple world titles like I did for Gannon. It's on record 4 years ago, like multiple titles. I won't go that far for Wyatt yet, but dude's going to be in contention at Pro Tour events for a lot of years. I'm calling that one now. So keep it up, man.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, there's so many variables to your point. Like it's impossible to actually say, but what you're seeing at the moment is awesome. So yeah, congrats. Myrtle Beach sounds nice.
Yeah, I know. I've thought about going down there a few times for that event, but
next year we gotta together.
All right. Yep.
Together. USDGC maybe we haven't done that together yet.
No. Yeah, we should talk. I mean, obviously we've.
It's Josh's turn to go down.
To where?
Nick's been, then Matt's been, then I went. Now it's Josh.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I could. So. Anybody who's actually online live at least or looking in YouTube, you can see we've got several different topics to talk about tonight, but disc golf, do we call them trading cards? Are they memorabilia? Like what do we call them? But
trading cards.
All right. That's only if we're trading them, right? Like are they trading if we trade them?
I've traded. So I traded Doug Bjerkes for this one because I pulled a paid shoe out of 50 out of 50.
I traded one of these with Doug Bjerkes like 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, if you get Brixton, let me know what you guys got. I'm up open for trades. I got some collectibles I need to fill out.
Yep. But let's be clear, Matt. You teed it off in the beginning. We're in the off season, and disc golf's interesting because there's actually stuff that will still happen in the off season that makes for great topics that we're interested in, right? Contract moves, player moves, some of these events like, the one down in Myrtle Beach, maybe stuff the Pro Tour will announce. We can start speculating what'll go down next year. But I will say, like, the first few weeks after the championship is done is like the doldrums, right? Like that's the dead space. There's like nothing happening. And when I say nothing, there is some stuff happening, but I think everybody's on a mental vacation. Even just go check out other podcasts. You're starting to see all this filler work, right? Which is actually fun. But it's different, right? There's probably not much of a drive as people being like, ooh, let's hear what happened or this story or what happened at the event. But still plenty for us to get through. And I think we'll have some fun kind of walking through some of that here tonight.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. We might rip a pack live. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes.
I already am ready. I already told the Discord that I'm gonna be ripping packs while Ryan's getting interviewed. See what we get.
Okay. We still have a little bit of time until Ryan's actually going to join the show here, but let's move into, if you're okay with it, Josh. There's another topic that deserves a little bit of time here. Probably up till we get the interview here. Ben, have you ever heard of the World Games?
Yes, only because of Team Westside Disc captain Chris Villa. I think he participates in every year.
For what sport?
Disc golf.
So
he goes.
The World Games have not had
team.
disc golf represented in 24 years. Over 24 years or 23 years. So no.
What? Then it must be a different thing because they wear Team USA jerseys and they're right now in like Uruguay or something like that.
Okay, so maybe it's like some other version of World Championships.
That's like a whiff diff disc golf.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm talking
World
specifically.
This is
I'm talking
specifically
straight up the World Games. It's like, I don't know how to explain it other than saying like it's the alternate Olympics. Like it's everything from martial arts to archery to everything you think about. Water skiing, wakeboarding, climbing. It's the Olympics, but not the Olympics. In 2025, it's in Chengdu. That's China, right? Hong Kong, or that's 2024
Probably.
is Hong Kong. Chengdu. I don't know where that is. Sorry, guys. I'm not that geometrically friendly. Or wait, geography. I don't even know geography.
Geometrically friendly.
Yeah, where is it located is what I'm thinking, but that's geography. Sorry, guys. I'm showing my cards. But I'm bringing all this up to say, disc golf is returning to the World Games for the first time since 2001. There will be a disc golf World Games champion. I mean, this is big as far as like sports go.
But for some world champion.
Yeah, but for some reason for disc golf, this doesn't seem that big. So I kind of wanted to talk through that a little bit because there's different aspects to this, but let me shout out real quick. We have somebody at this is another name of a tournament, the World Team Disc Golf Championship. This is put on by WIFDIF. The World Flying Disc Golf Federation is putting on an event right this week, World Team Disc Golf Championship. The winners of this qualify for the World Games. So somebody this week is qualifying for the World Games. And what I want to point out is that you have a lot of teams across the world competing. Australia, Austria, Canada, Croatia. I'm going to mess these up. Czechia, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Great Britain, Hong Kong, Italy, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, People's Republic of China, Singapore, Slovakia, Thailand, United States of America. If I missed anybody, that's because I only read one division. But my point is there's a lot of countries represented, and shout out to the United States of America being the country we're from. There are 3 competitors, John Willis II, Samuel Henderson, and Gavin Cunningham. So Sam Henderson's from Massachusetts, where we are.
Yep.
And I just messaged him a little bit ago and said, good luck. I asked him a few questions. And he said, it's springtime, so it's cool in the morning, but nice in the afternoon. This is in Australia. Disc golf's strong in Australia, but do you remember the World Tour? There's lots of world stuff going on. The World Tour.
Yeah, it was a major.
Yeah. I remember it was hot and Paul had to get used to the heat. And Ricky, it was all pretty warm down there.
Literally, they were worried about their discs almost melting or becoming too pliable if you didn't pick them up off the fairway fast enough. Like, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where I remember Eagle probably having his first, if we want to call it choke, was at this major.
Right. Yes.
Incredible. An upshot, Ben, you would have made, and he just didn't make it to lose. Okay. Anyways, so the way that you qualified for this qualifier was not by qualifying. It was by simply putting in an application to the PDGA. Lots of acronyms here. But whoever put in their application to the PDGA and was the highest rated player who did so got in. So you have 996 rated, 993 rated, and 982 rated. So if you were higher than 982 and you put in an application, you'd be playing in Australia right now to go to the World Games.
That's so sick.
Self-funded? Any grants?
I think
No
it's
idea.
self-funded. I think it is.
Oh.
I was looking, there's a lot of information, but some of it's not as easy to discover because we're so familiar with the PDGA, the Pro Tour, all that, how it functions. Some of this I had to dig a little bit, but I found it. I'm going to give you a few more things that came from Sam. He's right now in Australia responding to me on this. Australia. I'm trying to say it like Australia. He said there's 3 MPO spots, 2 FPO spots. Oh, fun fact, who's FPO competition from the United States? You might recognize Leah Sinagini.
There we go.
And a few others. Corey, Allie, Kavanaugh, Elizabeth, Emeniger. That's a name. Madison, Wisconsin. So you play 9 holes. He's not fully sure. He said there's still some interesting rules about teeing off he's not even sure about yet, and they compete in 2 days. So there's some things that are different. But I wanted to bring this up because maybe this event itself is not so big, but in 2025, put it on your calendar. I don't know the dates off. Let me see. Actually, we probably do have it here right on the website.
I got it. It's in August.
August of 2025, the World Games. And we're going to have people competing there to be a world game champion, which I think has got to be right up there, right below the Olympics. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in disc golf, proper PDGA, we're going to put the World Championship, the PDGA World Championship above all. So where does that come from? What do you guys think? And why are we here not barely knowing about it at all?
I mean, so it's a good question, and on the spot.
That's a great question.
I think it's got to be about several things. The players that are choosing to attend are telling us where they find value, which is interesting. Could there be a tipping point? What I mean is, like, why didn't Eagle McMahon and Ricky Wysocki, right, apply to play? So that it's just their perspective, and their perspective has weight. And by the way, it may not even be a judgment on whether they think the event is good. It's just not important to them. Like, they don't care about it on their resume. And so I think that influences what we think. Could be interesting if there's a tipping point, though, right? Like, if all of a sudden, like, it becomes a discussion point, then those players want to go and play. So I don't know. Coverage is a big thing. I think sponsorship's a big thing, and all these things going hand in hand. So, like, I'm kind of speculating, but, like, is it the chicken or egg? We don't talk about it because the players don't care, or the players don't care because we don't talk about it. Plus, it's been 23 years since the last time disc golf was contested at the World Games. So,
okay, so here,
also a factor.
did you look this up? I had mentioned this pre-show before Ben got in, so let me just go ahead.
I was tempted to Google it, and I didn't.
Okay, so here's the question. Ben, 2001. Yes. When were you born?
1998.
Okay, so 3 years before. So you were 3 years old. When you were 3, Ben, who won for both MPO and FPO the last World Games?
Barry Schultz and Des Redding.
Josh?
Oh, I have to pick 2 people. I have no idea. Greg Barsby and...
That'd be crazy.
Greg was like 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That'd be insane.
No, he would have been older than that, but
yeah, older than that. And Des is a good pick. Elaine King.
Good guesses. We'll give 1 point to Ben. Juliana Korver was the FPO. Nobody said, but Barry Schultz MPO.
Oh,
nice job.
Good job, Ben. Good job.
That's sick. How did I get that?
I don't know.
Yeah, those are like the top of the game. So yeah, to them is a big deal. That's kind of
that's interesting.
This is my
because,
point.
like, right. So who's gonna so the top of the game's not gonna win it next year?
Well, what's interesting is,
can they?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure exactly how many people qualify out of this event. Is it one from each country? We could have brought somebody on, but this is a talking point that came up too short notice to the show. I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but Thomas Gilbert's there for his country. Albert Tom is there for his country. So you can start to see that there are MPO players that we would recognize being represented. Estonia is there, Finland, as I mentioned. So I just thought it was interesting, worth bringing up, at least as a foresight to like where disc golf is going to be next year. We'll talk about it. I also saw that you might be able to watch coverage on this event in Australia this week. Don't quite know how. They said watch for the links, and I don't know what kind of production it will be. Maybe it's just on a hole. But anyways, there you go. Think about it. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, there's it's a whole rabbit trail beyond that I'm intrigued at all the other sports that are there. But
exactly.
Hopefully, like you said, hopefully we can watch
mini
it.
golf was a 1989 invitational sport, but
and they still don't have it.
No, they're not continuing to have mini golf at the World
Man.
Cups.
All right. We are ready, if you guys are, to bring in and talk to Ryan from Brixton.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do
it.
We gave him the quick intro. He's on a phone call, so let me see about unmuting him here. Boom. That's funny.
Do it.
Can you hear me, Ryan? Oh, hold on a second. I got to unmute you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay. No, all good, man. I thought that was funny. We, for our live, or not our live listeners, if you're listening post, we brought him up on screen and he's on a phone call with more important people than us.
He's like, Mom, I'm about to be on the coolest podcast ever. You better check it out. And he can't hear me.
Sorry, guys. My internet's like very spotty. The storm started outside, and the person who called me was Big Germ.
Oh,
Germ's making like these really cool card boxes, and he had a question about it. To answer him real quick.
Yeah, no, he's doing some cool stuff with the card boxes too. Let me see here. I am going to try to take less data from you. Let me just do that because I did that already once, and I'm going to try to do it again. We might get really low quality for you, but I'm going to take as little as possible, and let's see what happens. All right. Well, whether this works or not, we should be able to hear you okay. I just dropped your quality down significantly as far as data and bit rates go, but we'll see what that does for us. So I got in the mail. I guess I should cover up shipping addresses and all that, but I got a box, and I haven't even opened it yet. It's literally like
we gotta open it together.
If I just keep this, oh look, he's got a box. But listen, what if I never open this box?
Don't do it.
And the Paul McBeth, that one I saw, 1 in 72,000 chance.
Has the 1 in 1 been discovered yet? Do we know?
Not yet. I'm about to discover it in this stream.
Okay.
As far as I know, it hasn't been discovered, but that would like pretty much be my worst nightmare. Like it never popping up and just never
comes
appearing
out
anywhere. Yeah.
Is that possible? I mean, obviously, because people won't open every card.
Unopened box. People buy boxes and packs, right?
Yeah.
Don't open.
I've got a collection of like unopened boxes from the 90s, so it can definitely happen. I know there's plenty of collectors that.
So Ryan's someone else's. Ryan, you're someone else's worst nightmare because you have unopened boxes. They're still sitting there waiting for them.
Oh yeah,
from the 90s.
It's from the 90s though, so it's like they printed so many of them. It's such a low chance of me having anything significant in there.
Yep.
True. So welcome to the show officially. Ben's just gonna crack them. We're not gonna keep stopping for everyone.
Germ, but I'm just saying. Speaking of Germ, that's crazy. First card off the rip.
So I think it's like incredible that card collecting in general has made, in my from my perspective, and I'm not a card collector like avid. I'm not an avid card collector, but I've recognized over the last years that it seems to have made a significant comeback. I'm seeing it at every checkout in the grocery stores. I'm seeing it at the convenience stores. I'm seeing people rip all the time online. Have you seen that same thing? Is that partly why Brixton came to be? Or was it Brixton just came to be because you wanted to do something for disc golf?
I mean,
All right, we kind of had him break up a little bit there, and he's got an angry face frozen on screen. He'll probably come back. I didn't mean to ask such an offensive question. We lost him. The storm got him.
Oh no!
But
Ryan.
Ben, Josh, you've seen the same thing as me, right? Like cards are everywhere now.
They're like there's a specific checkout aisle with a bunch of cards in Walmarts.
Okay, but the boxes are always way bigger than how many cards are in it. Is that, I'm getting off topic. Ryan, is that a reason for like protecting the cards?
Man, there's a lot of reasons.
Okay,
So a lot of times just like standardized packaging.
Okay.
And, cheaper rates.
Okay.
Or it could be like a potato chip thing.
Yeah.
You get so many potato chips.
Yeah.
They stuff it up.
It's all air. It's 90% air. Ben just got a black and white card. Okay.
Oh, congrats.
Okay, so talk us through a little bit. So Brixton, we remember when you came to be, but was it just like you always liked collecting cards? Where did the inspiration come, and how's it doing today? We saw a lot of news, but how's it doing?
Yeah, there was a big surge. Like I was chasing the cards. There were like specific cards I was chasing. I love the Allen and Ginter stuff from like 2010 with Avery Jenkins and 2016 with Paul McBeth. Like that was the first time we ever saw like autographed disc golf cards and memorabilia put inside cards. So to me, that's what it was all about. Like I love that stuff. And then I used to chase down those cards and get them for like $10, $15. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and they're hundreds of dollars and you're priced out of it. So it's, I don't know. It did blow up extremely fast,
Yeah. People didn't come to hear me. Well, kind of they did. It's our show, but you're here as a disc golf collector. But that first set that the Pro Tour put out, listeners of the show who've been listening for years would know I sold my first set 2 years ago, probably, or more, for $2,500. And that was the 2016, the first year of the Pro Tour. I sold pretty much the champion cards for that. So to your point, yes. And I heard that even the regular, and I'm not using the right terminology here, you can correct me, but is it like baseline or whatever you want to call it, the standard player card? I heard Paul McBeth still going for $500 on that card.
Oh yeah, the 2016 DGPT set is one of the most prized.
Okay, he froze up again.
Foresight to. Sorry, guys.
You're back. You're back.
That's okay. Either we're going to keep talking regardless. If you come and go, it's all right.
Matt, basically, you sold too early. Is what he's saying. You should have held.
I don't know. I sold 5 cards, or I sold 4 cards, so the 4 champion cards, and then like 5 venue cards for $2,500. I mean,
oh, it was only 10 cards. Technically,
yes, because he ended up saying he didn't need all the base cards, which I'm super stoked about because I have all the base cards that are worth money now. Okay, so
I'd say you got a pretty good deal.
Okay, that's what I feel like. You think they got a good deal, or I did pretty good with $2,500?
Oh, you did. I mean, that's okay. That's fantastic.
That's how I feel. Yeah, I feel like that was worth it, especially 2 years ago. Okay, I'm going up here because we got Nick joining the show. We didn't even say anything about Nick, but here he is.
Sorry, I'm late.
So we just saw an announcement last week. Dylan Cease. Oh, sorry, Nick. We just brought in your boss. Sorry, Dylan Cease.
That's all right. I just played disc golf with him.
And Dylan got involved. Is it too forward to ask? Did you guys go to him, or did he come to you?
Oh, he did reach out to us. But that was like one of the coolest days of my life. So yeah, I would have gladly reached out to him, had I known he was interested. But yeah, thank God he reached out and said hello.
And again, maybe it's too forward, but I'm going to ask it. Is it like majority ownership? Is it like 20-80? Like, are you guys mutual partners now? Like, how does that work?
No, he just came in just to kind of get involved. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
I'm putting him on the spot. Sorry. Don't say what you don't want to say, but.
Well, I don't know, man. No, he's in the building. We're very happy to have him. So pretty excited about it.
Cool. No, that's good. That's good. But you're still the guy making all the decisions, running the day to day, right? He's still playing baseball.
I make some decisions, but I've got a partner that I've had. He's been around since the very beginning, and me and him are definitely like 50-50 on our side. So he handles a lot of it. I handle one end.
Awesome. Ben's still breaking, or what do you say? He already ripped the pack. What do you say now? He's revealing the cards?
I'm trying to do it as unintrusive as I can.
Okay. For those
I got a quick question.
Go ahead, Nick.
Have there been any more announcements? I'm trying to word this to where, like, I don't know if it's public yet or not.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah. I don't know if you can kind of gauge what I'm getting at from there. This is to Ryan, obviously.
No announcements yet.
Okay.
I can tell
Ryan's freezing up and not, so it's his silence doesn't
No announcement.
Yeah, his silence does not mean that he doesn't have an answer either. He can just say, I'm frozen up. He just sits really still.
yeah, exactly. No, Dylan just flew into town, and he's super excited about everything. So it's been cool to kind of hear it. I know I'm actually ripping my first box tonight. When I go over to the Airbnb after the show. So we're going to do some filming, Paul, Dylan, and myself. So I'm pretty excited for that. Hoping for that one of one. I heard there's a pretty fat bounty on it.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
Come on.
Go ahead, Josh. What were you saying?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, like, is Paul going to open it? And it's like his, like, one-on-one? Like,
That's jokingly, we're kind of hoping that. Just to see
God,
it.
Please, God, no.
We're just gonna if he opens it, we're just gonna shut off the video and try to redo everything to where it looks like I opened it, so it's not as bad.
Oh man. So like I said, I did collect. I'm just like a collector because I enjoy collecting things. Josh, I know you fall in a similar boat times in your life. Like I could collect stamps, I could collect rocks, butterflies when I was a kid or whatever. Like I like collecting. So what you're doing here is giving me this sense of like missing out if I'm not a part of it, at the very least. But then I see the quality of the cards you're putting out, and is this year like, I would assume it is just because of time usually makes things better, but you guys have done a lot more work to make this season different than last season's card release. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean we're maturing, you know. So we started off like we were in a very small box. We kind of had to live inside that box of limitations, and as soon as we learn about these limitations, we kind of try to attack them and expand on those limitations so we can do more. And that's kind of on every single front, whether it's like the printing side, the creative side, the licensing side. There's a lot of fronts we kind of have to manage. So it's important to expand our limitations on all those fronts. So yes, this year's product's a lot different from last year's product, and we're already working on, you know, next year's been working on it, and we're going to be able to do a lot more than we're able to do now. So we've got a lot of years of.
Again, frozen. We'll keep talking. Josh, you're going to have a question from him in a minute. Once he gets this answer, and you go. So, Ryan, if you can hear us again, we got that more or less,
yes,
that this year is, and you have more plans for the future, and you're just going to keep maturing.
That's correct.
Okay. Josh, what do you got?
Well, yeah, assuming, Ryan, you can hear and whatnot. And Matt, I presume it's not better to try to switch to phone call, right? Like,
well, we can shut off his video. I don't know if that'll make a difference.
Okay, that's fine. We'll keep giving it a go. You good, Ryan?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about this, guys. It really is storming something wild outside.
Where are you? Where are you from?
Arkansas.
Yeah, we're in Northwest Arkansas.
All right. Well.
Okay, let's do that. I'm going to shut off your video. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see us or not, but I'm going to go ahead and shut off your video. Can you still hear us, Ryan?
I can.
Okay, good. We're going to keep your video off, so you can do whatever you need to do now. You can run around and jump up and down, we won't know.
Yeah. So, all right. So these are some kind of like non necessarily important questions, but I'm curious, like how do you, or maybe is it you, do you decide how many cards go into like a complete set? Like, so for example, the 2023 like complete set, like is there any formula or methodology influencing supply, demand, whatever it may be? Or are you just like, no, we're going to run 8,000 cards? Like, what's that process look like?
There's definitely a process to it. I kind of look at, I don't want to sound silly, but, I'll lick my finger and kind of feel the wind, and kind of start there. And that's where the numbers start. And then you quickly realize where you need to like change, maybe beef something up or take something down, add a subset. It's a big, long process, but it starts off very cloudy, and the more time you spend on it, the more the details start to emerge.
So it sounds like, though, you're, like you said, kind of putting your finger in the air. You're actually trying to get just the right balance, and this is kind of normal inventory stuff, but of like not too much where it's too easy to get every single card, but you're actually trying to influence the collector marketplace, right? So it makes them valuable. So like, is that what you mean by kind of like feeling it out?
My lawyer would definitely say I'm definitely not trying to do that.
Got it.
But
Even without
good.
video, he's
there's
freezing
so
up.
many
There.
different types of collectors. Guys, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so many different types of collectors. There's some people who collect subsets. There's some people who collect certain players. So I feel like it's my job to just provide enough value to all those collectors at different price points. So, this product was our more economical priced product. And I think it's important for me to give as much value as I possibly can in that product and scratch enough. Like, everybody has a different itch on their back, so I'm trying to get as much coverage as possible at that price point to scratch as many of itches as I possibly can.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Dude.
Plus you're running a business as well, meaning like you obviously don't want to print, 50,000 too many cards, right? Based on what people are interested. So you've got to kind of balance that side of it as well.
Dude.
What's that? What that?
Okay.
What'd you just get? Cole
Radolin
Is that plastic?
centerpiece
Oh.
plastic.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's insane. What a pull, Matt.
This
Yeah,
is
What a
huge.
pull.
14 of 20.
That's an insane pull. Off the first box.
That's his
Ooh.
from his first year touring.
Why are you getting me so excited? The dude just slept at my house for a week for the MVP Open.
Dude,
it's like
'cause
I should
that's
go
an
frame it
insane-
and put it on the wall in the
Dude,
room
this
where
is
he
my
was.
best card. The gold McBeth.
Oh, that's
Very nice.
So listen, what just happened there? You guys are all
What do
gonna
you mean?
laugh, but you guys getting me like adrenaline. Is that dopamine? Like when people get is that like a hit? Is that what you call it? Like, dude, I just ripped a pack and I hit big. Like, is it like the lottery? Like, what is that feeling I'm having?
Man, I don't know, but it feels very real. I feel it myself. It's a lot of fun, and that's what it should be about.
What?
It's just fun. Everybody loves these players. Everybody loves.
No way. Did you just pull that, Josh? No, you did not. Is that gold?
and people just want connections to them.
Are you still able to see us, Ryan?
Josh.
Yeah, it chopped up a bit, but it came back.
Okay,
Josh,
it's
did you
up to
just
you.
pull that?
I could just kill the
just
video
just
too.
a
if you
little
want.
bit earlier. Just a little bit earlier.
Is that gold, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that is worth a lot of money.
Oh, whatever
I-
works best, brother.
Sheesh.
All right. So Ryan, like, who decides like the themes and like the artwork, right? Like all these different, like the Tokyo Wonder Bread, then the different like whatever, the inscripted, the silent. Like, do you have a creative team doing this, or is this you, or what? Like, how's that working?
Yeah, man. For the past like 2.5 years, it's been me and my buddy Jason. We've been working on stuff since we were kids, so we go back and forth with these ideas, and most of the time I'll come up with like the theme or the idea, and I'll take it to like first base, and then Jason takes it, either all the way home, or maybe he'll go to second, and I'll grab it and take it to third, and it's a process. Everything's different, but so far it's been working well.
So what's behind like the Wonder Bread? And maybe the story's already out there and I don't know it, but like, where does that come from?
It's a popular stamp within disc golf. It's a good culture.
Yep. And what, same thing with all the Tokyo cards?
I'm sorry, I cut out. Can you repeat that?
I was just saying, what about the Tokyo cards?
The Tokyo, man, so Tokyo has very strong imagery, but we wanted a traveling subset that kind of travels the world. And I thought Tokyo was just very fitting. We forget how much history disc golf has over in Tokyo. And it's almost like a nod to those guys over there, just kind of saying like, hey, we still know y'all exist. I know a lot of our infrastructure doesn't make it over there a lot nowadays, but they've got a very strong presence there, and we've certainly sent some boxes their way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yo, Josh, I need it. We're trading. I need that AB. I need that AB card. We are trading.
I don't know. We'll see. Depends
Bro,
what you
People
have.
in the chat are saying like that's huge. It's big money.
2 of 10. I just pulled a gold Connor Rock on this stream, so I can give you that. That's a good trade.
So where and how do you tell what the if I'm a collector, where's the list that says like here's what you just got? Is there anything like that per card? Like if I went and looked on this Cole Riddall in plastic.
Yeah. What kind of?
You can see it on the back of the box. Like it's going to tell you all the odds of hitting those cards. It'll tell you on the packs. We also on our website, we have what we call the setography for each set. You can go into that and see the print runs for each card. You can see the odds. You can see the checklist for each set. A lot of the sets we're going to have like this.
I don't know if he's
for example, the relics card for Evelina and Golden Era was from her first DGPT win, so you can look that up in the setography. So it's a pretty cool little addition to what we do, and it's as far as I know, like it's the first of its kind. I haven't seen anything similar.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, Matt. Yeah, the setography on the website is your best place, Matt. Like you can get the rundown of every single card and the counts and what's going on there, including the best way to store them, card thickness, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
So because like I pulled more cards out here like Roots, which maybe that's Roots Adam Hammis, Roots AB.
I got a Roots Gold. This is what you're looking for with the Roots Gold, and I got an AB Roots Gold.
Dude, and and this may not be like the best talk radio, but we're enjoying an experience together. Like
And
seeing these
off-season.
like for instance, like a Jake Wolf. I don't know how to do the lighting there. This gives me like closer to vintage vibes of collecting. It's super clean. Just reminds me of like when I was collecting baseball and basketball cards when I was a kid. I like those as well. This is really fun. So yeah, we wanted to have you on. We followed your journey for a little while. I got to meet you, I think at Maple Hill, was it 2 years ago? And one thing that I've noticed at these events, and it's probably marketing, but you're also a good dude. Someone's there handing out Brixton cards to all the kids. And my kids have benefited from that greatly. Even if it's just, here's a no-name card that, some collectors might not find valuable, but seeing the smile it puts on kids' faces is huge. And I know you've been a part of doing that. So that's awesome too.
Well, let's give the guy a shout out real quick. Junk and Sons is the guy that was Ryan from Junk and Sons who was giving out the those baseline or the base set cards, like thousands of them.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got a really great community that, I mean, they share the love and all those things. So it's a part of our culture now, like, and I just hope it always like stays that way because it's such a nice place to be. And you're kind of, reminded why you should be doing what you're doing every day through their acts, so it's, hope it always remains that way.
Ryan, do you feel like is this a competitive space or is this something you're thinking about? What I mean by that is we've obviously seen like the Pro Tour cards. You talked about some of the prior ones that caught your attention. You're obviously making a big splash here. Is that something you're watching for just from a business standpoint?
I caught the first part and the last part. So it sounds like you said do I find it to be a competitive space?
Yeah, just saying right now, like obviously you're the big name in disc golf collector, cards. But yeah, like, are you thinking about competitors? Like, are there, like, just kind of thinking about how that goes from a business standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly have like safeguards in place to like protect our investments and stuff, but there's certainly like room to diversify. In disc golf, I wouldn't call it super competitive in the disc golf card space. And outside disc golf, there's just tons of competition. But there's still room to grow out there. I think it's important to make sure that we don't rely on just the disc golf market to support
Matt.
our infrastructure. Yeah, huge card.
Is
Matt,
it
So I
what
think-
is going
a
on?
Kyle Klein
Influencer
auto?
box.
2 of 30?
Are you kidding me, bro? What is up with you guys pulling these freaking
So,
sick?
sorry we cut you off, but Ben was freaking out here.
Oh, good. Got a Kyle Klein of Brixton Elite. Makes
Okay,
sense.
see, this is what it's okay. Yeah, Brixton Elite. So you guys
Matt,
know
you
better
are
than I do. I
ripping.
mean, it's 2 of 30. That's pretty awesome.
Yep, you got to pull up the website. You can see it.
Holy
Hey, I want to ask,
cow.
what about like getting players like on board? And Ryan, some of this goes back a little bit, not necessarily saying this year, although it's interesting. I feel like the first year you came out with the cards, generally well received, but I don't think there were any Paul McBeth cards that year. And then
That's
this
right.
year, right, it's like he's all over the box with his Legacy series. So like, you don't have to answer about Paul McBeth necessarily, but how does this work with the players? Getting them on the card. Some of them probably desperately want to be on a card, and other people are worried about protecting their own, brand. Is that like a conversation you're still navigating? We'll take that as a yes.
He's gone.
What storm is this? Where is he located?
Arkansas.
Oh baby, I hope the storm is okay.
Yeah, but anyway, like it's interesting.
So
Obviously, I picked Paul
bring
McBeth
the point. I was
specifically
going to
as a
say, bring the
narrative.
point you're thinking.
I kind of don't know, except that Paul wasn't in the first year, as far as I see. Like, and I think it's just interesting.
What do you know about that, Nick?
What's that?
Paul
was
McBeth was not. He did not have any cards when Brixton first came out, and
So-
I don't know, but I feel like it's because it's like, hey, it's not a tried and tested disc golf card company. What do you think?
So,
And
to
now
be
he's like the
brutally
premier.
honest,
Now he's like
Yeah.
the premier, like on the set.
to be brutally honest, I don't really know anything about cards in general, like whether it's other sports. I do know that Topps had done some Paul McBeth cards and like Avery Jenkins. I don't know how many other pros they did. Maybe it was all of them, maybe it was none of them. No idea. So when it comes to why Paul wasn't with Brixton cards at the beginning, I could not tell you. But I can ask him tonight and get an answer for
Ask
that.
him. I just like, so this is complete 100% speculation, but we see some of our top players. I think Paul's been a classic example, maybe even paving the way. You could make a case for kind of understanding player branding, value, right? Kind of protecting that brand. And from my perspective, I think, it's interesting to think about. At first, it was like, well, I don't want just my name, which he owns his name. I don't think we call his name intellectual property per se, right? But his name and his brand, kind of protecting that. And then what kind of validation does it do for Brixton when now Paul McBeth is like, sure. And I don't know how it actually goes down, but it's like literally the set's being sold with his picture and his name all over it.
Well, yeah, this card is like over $100 card. Right.
I texted him. So maybe I'll get an answer.
So Ryan's back. I don't know if Ryan, you have any answers for that. How do you get players to get on board, and why would some players not be on board the first year?
Yeah. So our first time doing it was we created a set in partnership with OTB, and thank God that it kind of worked out that way, because we partnered with the OTB sponsored players, which streamlined those player negotiations. So we got to punt that our very first time doing it. Our second time going into it, like we kind of saw the reaction, the response that came off that. Those sets sold out incredibly fast. So we're like, okay, well, we've got something special here. Let's try it again, and let's try to build a business off of it. So whenever we did that, we had a little bit more credibility. We just made a product that had done well, that performed well, and the cards looked good, and it was something that they hadn't really seen before. So it was a little bit easier on those negotiations. And then we designed that product extremely fast. It was like 30 days. And we kind of put it out there and started our pre-sale. And as soon as that ended, that's when we kind of ran to the Disc Golf Pro Tour and was like, hey, would y'all consider, giving us licensing and being a partner with us? And, life got so much easier then. They've been a great partner to us from the very get-go. All you ask for is like, hey, just kind of give me access to an outlet and let me plug in. And that's exactly what they allowed us to do.
Yeah, that's super cool. Like you mentioned it, but it's like, talk about lending credibility to kind of see that growth over a couple of years. And like saying, one of the most historical kind of premier players all over the box with the Legacy series. Like That's a lot of validation from the beginning till now to have that kind of evolution, which I think helps it pick up steam. People are like, all right, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, Paul McBeth specifically. I'm a huge Paul McBeth fan. And so I wanted to work with Paul McBeth so bad. Like that was like the goal. Like that's it. And it was we didn't get it on the first swing, but to me it's like, okay, like learn the situation better. Learn, like, what did you not do correctly? So it's good to have that and to kind of fail, sometimes, and learn from it and improve yourself. So I think we were able to do that and kind of come to Paul with like a better package that worked better for the situation, that made more sense. And we were able to kind of get something to the finish line. So that was huge for us. I remember being, Nick, what was the last Worlds Paul won in Emporia? 2022? Okay, so I remember being at 22 Worlds.
Sorry, I was muted. 2022. I did answer you. Sorry, I muted myself because my keyboard's loud. Apologies.
I remember being at that Worlds, and like the huge hit bin, Calvin Heimberg Fabrics.
What?
Huge. I remember being at that Worlds though, and those were like the two main players that we didn't sign were Paul McBeth and Kristen Tatar. And I remember being there and like having to, like, because I'm a huge Paul McBeth fan, I'm a huge Kristen fan too, but like I was almost like rooting, like, because I was rooting for my company. Like we were having Tour Series sales at that time, so I was hoping somebody would win that had a Tour Series card. And Paul McBeth and Kristen Tatar won, and I was like, I never want to be in a position where I have to root against Paul McBeth again in my life. So I just truly made it my mission at that point. Like, never put yourself in that position again.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, really cool. I love it. Obviously, we're having fun with it, just kind of casually chatting with you about it. I'd love to pick your brain on so many other things. But like you said, it kind of brings back some version of nostalgia. I mean, I've got tons of full baseball card sets, basketball sets, like all this stuff like stashed in a bin that every once in a while I take a peek at. And it's just been really great, really, since I got on the disc golf card train in 2017. So I was a year late. But since then I've just got tons of cards. And honestly, for me, like, of course it's fun to talk about the value of the cards. It's part of the fun discussion, but honestly, like, it's not an investment for me. And so it's just the pure fun. It's like the fun of like, it's just cool. It's like, yeah, like showing it to my son. He's like, oh, did you get any good cards? And I'm like, yeah, look, like got a Hamas like fabric, and it's just cool, right?
Dude,
to my son.
Josh, so I'll trade you for this one. Come on now.
Fun.
Wow. I got to get those hard sleeves or whatever they're called.
They sell them on Brixton.
It's true.
Awesome.
It really is cool. So I just had somebody reach out to me like right before this interview, but they said they pulled a Calvin Heimberg centerpiece plastic, and they're like, "Hey, what disc was this?" And I was like, "Man, I can't tell you the name of that disc, but that was actually the disc, and I think it was like 2021 USDGC when Calvin was chasing down Dickerson, and
In the rain?
He missed the island, and then he makes the island. He goes to putt, he clanks it off the basket, and it rolls OB. That disc that rolled OB is the disc that's in the centerpiece plastic.
That's crazy.
So
It's cool.
So cool.
It's cool, but Calvin's like, shred this disc up. I do not want it ever again.
I just appreciate Calvin for not shredding it.
Yeah.
Just understand that, like, we will appreciate that.
Who cuts all this stuff up? Who cuts it up?
So we have a
Ryan in his basement.
I stay in my basement,
He's like,
but no stall down there. We send it to be processed to a number of different partners that we use to ultimately end up with the final product.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I'm happy, and I think more people would be happy if they're opening up disc golf cards. Is it correct to call them collector cards? What do you call them technically? I mean, like, what do you call them? Like disc golf cards, like player cards. What's the right term?
Yeah, I mean, all those work. Trading cards.
Trading
sports
cards. Yes.
Cards. Whatever you and your buddies call them, that's fine.
Trading cards. I think that's probably what I used to refer to them as the most. This was a lot of fun, man. So
Dude.
can people?
Well, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, can people
I'm addicted,
continue to?
Ryan.
Can people continue to buy these like throughout the whole season? Like you got like thousands of packs, or are we running out?
We always run out way too fast. So that first set we did, it sold out in like 30 seconds. It was ridiculous. And then I licked the finger, read the win, and then I was completely wrong. And we sold out of those insanely fast on the second run. And then this one, I just wanted to make sure we didn't sell out insanely fast. So we've got a little bit of runway, but it's still going to go much faster than I had hoped.
So hurry up.
So just throwing that out there.
Hurry up. And Christmas is around the corner for those who give gifts on that holiday. I would recommend getting it immediately, it sounds like.
And maybe you can be like me and pull a Vinny
Very cool.
jersey.
Yeah, they're super fun, man. If you love disc golf and you want to help support the players, this is a really cool avenue of doing that. I would buy discs, so many discs. It's nice to get something unique and different. A lot easier to collect it on the bookshelf and put it in your binder and stow it away rather than the boxes and boxes of discs.
I feel you there.
So yeah, we're gonna let you go. It sounds like a lot of interesting stuff. We'll have you back on. I know Ben has a really good connection with you. He's been wearing the hat lately. Look at this, Ken Climo.
That's last year. That was last year.
Champ.
Awesome.
Dude.
Huge card.
Very cool. We're going to let you go, and we're going to continue to rip packs, and we appreciate what you're doing over there.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much. I'm a big fan. I've been watching for a while, so it's really cool to be but y'all have a good night. Thank y'all.
All right.
Is that from this set?
No.
Josh, is that from this set?
No, that's last year.
All right. Peace out, Ryan. We appreciate it.
Take it easy, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Out of 25.
Josh, I will trade you this for your AB.
I got to pull up the right people. Sorry, guys.
We will see. We can handle it offline. I love this kind of conversation. Obviously, we took it at a slow pace, pretty low key. But hopefully everybody just not everybody listening has to be into cards at all. In fact, you may be like, they're not really that cheap, to be honest, Matt. Like inflation from when I used to collect back in the 90s. Like I used to be able to buy a pack with like 30 cards in it. It'd probably be like $3 or something. But so my point is if you're not into it and you're listening to us talk about it, again, don't think about it from a standpoint of like having to complete a set or do it and wonder what it's worth. It's just plain old fun to be like, it almost feels like being a kid. It's like these are players that we know and follow, and it's just cool to get them. Even the base set is just like it's great. So
besides the Decade of Dominance, the 1 of 1, what are the other, what's the second most expensive card that's probably available?
Well, it's going to be other ones in that
this one,
in that
this
series.
one's pretty rare.
But it's going to be ones in the McBeth Legacy series, right? Because
Yes.
it goes like there's the Decade of Dominance, and then there's others that are only like 20 prints.
Gotcha.
So,
I don't know from there. I'm not an expert beyond that.
Legacy centerpiece. It looks like below the Decade of Dominance is like the.
I know
second
Adam
rarest one.
Hammond says a $2,500 bounty on the Decade of
On the
Dominance, but I feel like if
one-on-one,
he's willing to pay $2,500,
Then
I feel like
someone's willing to pay.
someone's
Yeah.
about to pay more. So
I think if it really is the Decade of Dominance Gold, which is the 101, I don't know. It's kind of weird because value on 101 cards is pretty strange. You almost can't read the market because it's like.
it's the only one.
Right, and so it's like there's
one guy would
nothing
say,
to-
"I'll give you $1,000," the other guy said, "I'll give you $10,000."
right. There's,
like,
there's
how do
nothing to compare it to. It's not like
Yeah.
a sliding supply and demand quotient. Like
Do you
if
just auction
someone
it at
out
that
there,
point?
if someone out there wants it, they spend
yeah,
$10,000 on it
unscripted,
because they want it.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah,
got
so
Well,
there's
hopefully-
actually-
sitting around.
Hopefully, if I get it tonight, I go buy my Harley cash, and that would be
That would be
ideal.
pretty cool.
So there's one that's not in the photography called unscripted, where it's like it's the one where they doodle. I don't know if the pros doodle. There's only 4 cards and they doodle whatever they want on the card. So that's probably the
Some more super
second
rare.
rarest. Yeah, the super rare.
Gotcha.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, I think what's interesting is for me at this point, I'd have to think long and hard. If I drew the 101, I am not sure if I'd sell it, but not because it's an investment. But I think for me, it would just be fun to see like, yeah, I got it and I'm keeping it.
Yeah, you'd be like Martin
Just to let it
Shkreli
just
with the
sit on the
Wu-Tang
shelf. I mean,
album.
like just to be like, because I collect the cards. I don't collect it for the money.
But there is a number, and that's the
There is-
problem.
of course, there's a number.
Someone's
yes.
like, Josh, I'll give you $10,000. Is that the number? Like, would you do it for 10,000?
Oh, that's interesting.
You would.
See,
I don't know.
would.
I don't know because I'm no
as
like
a poor
better-
man down in Florida, someone
is-
says, "Hey
well-
Nick, $10,000." I'm probably doing it.
This is true. That's why I put a number out like 10 grand to
Yeah.
Josh. But for Nick, I'd go,
Yeah.
Nick, 1,000.
Nick, $1,000? Yeah, say no more. No, just kidding.
man.
No, I do understand that obviously a 101 has a lot of value to it, and there are people in the disc golf world who are willing to spend a lot of money on things in disc golf. It's great. I know discs have gone for thousands of dollars before, very, very rare ones. So like Josh was saying, I mean, someone out there wants it and they're willing to spend big money on it. I am very curious to where, like, if I was to pull that tonight, how do I go about even in the market say, hey guys, I got it. Shoot me the offers.
Discord.
What do we have?
Either yeah. So I'm in the Discord. I'm looking at it right now. They're tagging me. Yeah, you just go into the Brixton Discord and all the fanatics are in there. Or yeah, you just post it online. And be like, hey, anyone want to buy this?
Someone
So
said,
take that card out of the equation. What are the other cards worth? Like Matt pulled a 14 of 20, you said, or like
Yeah.
a 2 of 20, whatever it was.
pull it on.
Like, do we have the market in disc golf right now to where like some discs, like the 4-time buzzes or the 4-time zones, go for a lot of money because they're a rare disc. They're really cool. They fly great if you get them as throwers. But do Brixton cards right now, just cards in general in disc golf, do they have that value of like, Matt, is that a $5 card or is that a $50
Yeah, they
card?
have the value. Yeah, they have the value. I could sell this card probably for like $50 right now.
What is
Whereas
that?
the
Yeah.
base, that's a gold roots AB. Regular roots AB would be like $5 maybe.
this one
So
right here.
you get
This one.
Yes, regular. That's a
so you
regular
get
roots.
what was it, 40 cards per box?
Yes.
5 cards a
yes.
pack, 8 packs.
Yep.
So 40 cards. Realistically, how many of those boxes, like how many of the $80 boxes are you?
Yeah, Matt,
technically,
did
if
you
were to
just
start,
pull that?
Yeah. What is that one
Insane.
worth, do you think? Kyle
Look it
Klein
up.
Auto?
It's eBay. You go to eBay and then you just look up sold. Except it's so new.
Yeah.
It's so new
that-
that how is there a
Yeah.
market? Like that's a sick
What do you
one,
got, Josh?
But I have no
Josh,
idea if that's good.
That's my
It
card,
is
Josh.
good because it's
We're gonna work
it's
on a
two,
deal.
It's 2 out of 10.
That is
Oh,
my
2 out of
card.
10.
Whoa.
That is
Gold,
mine.
That's sick.
gold
Whoa.
inscripted AB autograph.
Well, if he wouldn't
All right,
sell the
now-
one of
now-
one for 10,000, he's keeping that one. Sorry, Ben.
No. Josh.
I
So
didn't say I won't give it away. I just won't.
Now,
So-
like a 2 of 10, is it better to have a 1 of 10 or a 6 of 10?
I don't know.
I don't actually know.
That's
Does that-
probably
does
more
that matter
preference.
yet?
It's called. So I'm learning all this. I just started collecting this set. So bookends. It's called a 1 out of 10
Oh,
or
10
a 10 out of 10.
yeah.
They're called bookends.
Mhm.
And
more
yes,
rare.
they are technically going to be worth more than a
gotcha.
6 out of 10. Just
Just
because
because
it's the
collectors
bookend.
are weird. There's
That-
no
that
other
makes
reason.
sense.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about this, and it's been a lot of fun. I thought,
Brody in the chat, who's an avid
and we got
collector.
So let's,
Hey, we're all news, Brody. Come on.
No, for what
Give us
for
a
what
chance
it's
here.
worth, I know Brody's ripping packs and all that, and I have not really like watched it much, but like I could get into that, and yeah, Brody. I mean, it is hilarious because we don't know, but we're just collecting as fun, which is great.
Exactly.
Like
That's what
I
matters.
literally probably have 100 questions about everything. Yeah, like the grading system, how you get them graded, how you determine what they're worth, how you rip packs. Am I supposed to put my fingers on the front? Am I smudging the card? Like anyway, it's great.
providing content like nowhere else.
Dude, I love it.
so
We're
mo-
starting it.
Yeah. So moving on from all the disc
We got
trading
Brody.
cards in Brixton into Josh. You want to give us some stats on pop drop lock? What do you think?
Yeah, just for fun. I know like pop drop lock. So for anybody who hasn't listened this year, it was a new game that we worked on, explored, and put out there, which was a lot of fun. Basically, where we pick, it's a weekly game for the Elite Series and Majors, where you pick players to decide if they pop off relative to their average finish. So do they overperform, or are you picking them to underperform their average, or are you trying to pick the actual winners or podium placement? And so just kind of a lot of fun this year. We'll probably revive that coming into next year and talk about any adjustments or tweaks. But I thought it might be fun just to look a little bit across. We had a lot of people participate this year, like well over 900 people played Pop Drop Lock with us. And so I guess I'll call it a little bit of like a trivia, and we're going to go through this. So FPO drop. So these are the players that people were trying to pick to underperform. And of course, in reality, you'd have to know, right? Each event may be unique. Someone may be a wooded player versus an open player, etc. But do you think, Ben, who was picked more often to drop, okay, for FPO? Was it Ella Hansen or Haley King? Who was picked more often to drop?
Ella. I mean, so in my head, I was going to say Ella. You didn't even have to give me multiple choice. It's Ella.
Yeah. So she was picked number one overall.
Because
But-
I picked her.
Yeah. But
That's why I know.
if you average what she gave out for points, she was not the best pick on average.
No,
Missy
I know.
Gannon was the best pick.
Wow.
Missy Gannon.
Interesting.
Because remember, for drop, you have to
Yeah.
have somebody who's performing well, and then you pick them when they
Yes.
drop off. The margins
Yeah.
have to be tight. But guess who gave the most points all season for FPO drop? What I mean is like
The
literally-
individual person.
Yep, exactly.
Madison
the FPO
Walker.
player, no, not for drop.
Man.
Jennifer Allen. I'm just going to give it so we don't drag it out. Jennifer Allen
Yeah.
was picked 177 times and gave out over 2,524 points
Whoa.
to everybody on the season.
I picked her a few times.
All right, FPO Pop. Who wants to give a go at just saying who was number one
Madison Walker.
overall pick for Pop? Yes.
Wait.
best pick,
You mean
Madison
the
Walker.
amount of times?
Yes.
Yeah. So Madison.
Most frequently picked. Yeah, by far. It's crazy.
Makes sense.
Influenced by Ben or what? Like, because I just find it
Influenced by,
interesting that
probably.
you can continue to be picked for Pop over and over and over and over again, because the math would say if you keep giving out points, then you are moving your average rating. So the only way to keep being worthwhile is to keep getting better.
She did. That
every
was the
week.
thing. She was so low on the system because of previous season that she was way better than that. She continued just to do it slowly but surely to get back to where she
So
was.
here's the thing. I had a conversation with her. I posted a video on the
Yeah.
Instagram, or a picture. I had a conversation with her. I was just like, "You've been crushing it," and it's become like an inside kind of thing on our show. And it's like, and I told her, it's like, you do so well. It's because whenever you play bad, so it's 32 overall. She was like the whole season. It's like you're never below. You're always just 32. So I'm not losing points, but the time she does pop off, I'm gaining points.
I see what you're saying, right? Because literally, she gave out the most points. Like, and again, this is aggregate across all the picks, right? But over 7,000. Yeah, over 7,500 points. Madison gave out to all of our participants.
Should we send awards?
More than triple second place, by the way. So, I mean, like, she just, like, and part of that's because if you're picked most often, you're more likely to give out more points. I
can't believe she was picked that much because of my strat. That's hilarious. Yeah, well, shout out all the fans.
Part of it, yeah. But by the way, the second most picked player for Pop was Paige Pierce.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Another person. See, think about this heading into next year. We'll have to revive this for strategy because, you're picking players who have a slow start, but you believe their ceiling's high, and they just keep moving up and up and up and up. All right, FPO lock.
Kristen? You'd have to assume, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, because we're talking most
safe
picked.
to assume.
Most picked. She gave out lots of points. How many times? Well, this will be hard. I'll just tell you. 1,642 picks for Kristen to lock, which is a lot. By the way, 45% correct pick rate. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because Kristen
it's
had
a
a
pretty
good year.
fair bet. I mean, regardless whether you think she played okay or great this year.
I mean, that's like a real.
fair,
I'm talking to win.
As a betting man, like that's
she comes in
very
second or
good
third.
Yeah.
And if I calculated the odds of giving out points, meaning she could have like been down the podium, like it's probably like a 90% like hit rate.
Also, to add to that craziness, we had a limit on how many times people could pick her.
Yeah.
You could only pick 5. No,
we added it for everybody.
It was for everybody
by the end.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It doesn't let you pick if you had more than a certain amount. So like everybody was limited. So even though
we cut them off.
Yeah, imagine if we didn't have a limit, it might have been just every week, every time.
So over 26,000 points, Kristen gave out as a lock player. By the way, the next best was Holland Handley with 8,000. Wow. 26,000 points. So our game is so like, this is a good thing, but dominant, so swayed to like Kristen like gave the points out. But by the way, if you talk about average points for lock, Silva Saarinen was second best.
Nice.
So, which is interesting. What I mean by average is of the number of times they were picked, right? Take their points and divide it and say like Silva was a pretty good pick. All right, let's talk about MPO. So for the drop, remember what we talked about for drop. These are people who performed really well, and then we start thinking they're going to either drop off on average or they're going to have specific events that they perform poorly at. So I'm not saying who gave the most points, but I'm saying who was the most picked. This is an open-ended question. It's kind of impossible, but who was the most picked by? Yep, for MPO drop of all of our players.
AB.
Ben, you want to throw a name on there?
Yes, I do, and I'm
Aaron
going
Gossage.
with.
I also want to say Eagle.
Who did I pick the most? Luke Humphreys.
So Nick, Eagle's interesting, right? Because the problem with Eagle is, although you're saying he might underperform, did he perform so well and then people expected him to perform like worse? He's not on the list, by the way. He's not in the top 10. The number one most frequently picked was AB.
Oh, I nailed it.
Wow.
But again, I think
was that your first or your fourth guess?
No, that was my first guess.
Okay. But look, what you probably have happening, think about this. AB came out scorching hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won the first tournament of the year.
Right. So then the point is that literally the only place he had to go was down. And so people were hedging their bets, saying,
well, to be clear,
he's going to keep performing.
To be clear on the
rules,
rules,
events that would have been very, very successful.
We only used his previous season average, though, for the first three events. So the point here that stands out is in his first 3 events, he did incredible. Or first 4. So he was as high as he possibly could be. Then people were hedging on he can't keep that up. That's why,
Well, right, exactly. But by the way, second most frequently picked for drop, Paul McBeth.
Ooh.
That's the season in a nutshell, man. People were like, he's a high performer, and he wasn't. So they're all being like, let's pick him.
And he was the best pick also.
Really?
He gave out 25 points.
Really?
When he was picked to drop.
I can see that. Yeah.
Overall, he was the best drop pick, or you're saying...
I feel like I got to double check the math. I know for a fact he was the second most frequently picked.
Okay.
Right back.
And he gave out over 8,769 points. I would have to double check that last point I was making. Either way, good, like frequent pick and a fairly good pick. What's really interesting is I'm just going to jumping ahead. He also shows up as the second most picked for pop. So Paul had an interesting season. Remember we talked about he never had a win. Finished 6th in Pro Tour standings. And so I think people are just on the fence, literally, right? Like event to event. Is Paul going to perform or is he not going to perform?
Yeah, he's sitting at that, like you said, on the fence, man. Is he going to?
And people feel like the ceiling is still so high for Paul, but then people are also like, Paul's like done. And so those two things, we literally see him picked over and over
Very
again, which is pretty
interesting.
Yeah. Let me see if anything else stands out there. By the way, third most frequently picked for drop was Luke Humphreys. So Ben, was that your pick?
Yeah, I did it a lot.
That was one of Ben's. Yeah, Ben and Matt.
Yeah.
And it got a lot of points.
Are you going to tell us who? Yeah, are you going to tell us who got the most points?
For
drop?
Like
drop in general.
That's what you were saying.
You already
thought
said
Paul
Paul
was.
McBeth. Yeah.
Paul definitely gave out the most points for
You already
drop.
said Paul. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Luke
So
Humphreys
third
was,
was Luke Humphreys most points or most picked?
both. No. Luke Humphreys was third most picked,
Okay.
second most points.
Oh, second
Okay,
most.
so
there
he was
we
a
go.
good
That's
pick.
what I was looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. So he's a good pick.
Sick.
All right, this is interesting. I am all but certain he's not in the chat anymore, but who was our number one most frequently picked MPO pop?
Wait,
I'm assuming Brody.
that's
Brody.
crazy.
Yeah.
Brody
Brody,
Smith.
if you were there and you haven't heard
believe.
about this game, that's people picking you to perform higher than your average.
Above your average, right. In other words, like if they think, you had averaged 30th place, they think you're going to finish in 20th at this event, so they're picking you to pick up 10 points.
So you said
people-
most picked?
most free, 377 times this season, players in our game picked Brody Smith to outperform his average.
Wow.
Whether he did or not is not what I'm doing.
I
analysis
picked him
on.
as well. If we can pull up all the picks, right? We could see on the show, did anybody else pick him to pop, or was I the only one?
No, I think Evan and I think I did once or twice.
Well, Evan
as
did
well.
by
I don't think
default
I did.
because Evan would pick our pops or drops.
No, he would only
Did
do
he
drops.
start that way though?
Anyways,
Evan would
Yeah.
only do
Hey,
drops.
So Paul McBeth gave out the most points for pop, though. Again, remember if you're picked more often, of course you're giving out more
You're
points.
gonna get
But clearly he did, compared to AB, was actually 8th in the line, but gave out the second most points. So at least by average points. So
Yeah.
interesting. All right,
know-
ready? Go ahead, Ben.
Real quick, since we're talking about Brody, what's the funniest thing? The last time he was in our chat, his comment was, "Matt talking about golf is hilarious."
I remember
Isn't that funny? And now
I
it's
do remember
so now we have a new hobby that we're talking about, and he's like, "This combo is hilarious." That's so funny. It's
Wow.
like kind
It
of
is
the
hilarious.
similar.
And remember, I was a
I
listener
don't
to the
even
show
know.
for a few years, and some of the hilarious episodes are the best. So that's good. All right, MPO lock. Who was picked most often?
Gannonburg.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that's
Gannonburg.
simple.
But okay, remember Kristen Tatar was a 45% correct pick rate.
Correct, right? Yeah.
What's Gannonburg's pick
49.
rate?
37.
Ben, you want a number?
65.
27%. Much
Whoa.
harder. Here's the thing: the MPO field had a lot more diversity for winners at the top.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
Yeah. Until the end when Gannon was like winning everything and you knew he was going to win.
by the way, second most frequently picked, which is Calvin Heimberg with only a 13% correct pick rate, which is still not bad, by the way. And Ricky was the third most picked with an 18% correct pick rate. So
You know what? I just had this epiphany, or whatever the right word is. We never added in our season pops, drops, and locks. Remember at the beginning of the season? Do we
I
have
was
that
figuring
anywhere?
it crossed my mind too. I guess I didn't call it an epiphany, and that'll be a topic for a coming show in the next couple of weeks.
What were the picks?
It's our season pop drop.
Yeah.
We're talking about
we'll
season
go back
pops.
and get them.
Yeah, that would be
I picked
really
AB,
cool. You
and I think
did?
it's a really good one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did too. Remember,
I
I
forget
also
what I
picked him for my
picked,
first.
yeah.
PDL.
I might
I know
actually.
you guys
nailed
picked
it.
I might
AB.
beat Ben. I might beat Ben
Oh, like,
if we're down to that close, and I actually get the season picks right.
Yeah.
Wait,
We'll
what?
have to
I thought I
see.
already won.
Well, you
the
did,
Pop
but we
Drop
forgot
block.
about these. We forgot about these. They're lingering out there. It's like the one
We
of
get
one
to-
McBeth
so
card.
we get to
Does that
add
count
these
as
in.
that counts
Yeah.
as points?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if we go
know.
back to that episode and listen, that's what it was. We said we're going to add this into our season picks, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll come
Yeah,
back
we'll
with
figure it out. I think, because the first, I've got some notes, but we'll have to see what they say. Hey, so just a few more things. We'll move on from this topic because all this analysis may not be exciting, but it is interesting because, by the way, the numbers I was just reading is a little bit of a pulse of like way more than just us 5 hosts or 4 hosts right now with Evan as a guest. Our picks are obviously one thing, but it's interesting to see what the disc golf world is picking, which is maybe not entirely surprising. By the way, it gets more intriguing the further down the list you go. When you see, for example, Madison Walker, our most frequently picked pop, but did you know she was picked twice to win? Only 2 times, but 2 people did pick Madison Walker to win. And
Let me guess, Ben Kenny and Ben
I don't
Kenny.
know.
Not me.
I'd have to look.
I've
at it.
never
just
picked
kidding.
I'd
it.
have to look.
Picked
But
it.
but it's interesting to actually see where people let's, if you're using whatever language, but they're hitting on the less frequent picks. I didn't draw that out of the numbers yet, but who had the biggest, pop or drop individual hits on any given week, which can also be an interesting, kind of roll of the dice. We went over this a little bit before, but Ben, you won for the hosts on the season. And I think we already went through some of these data points. But I thought this was interesting is for let's see, Ben, overall, you only picked 54 different players this season, the fewest of any of us hosts.
I stuck to my guns.
Your variety was the least. Guess who picked the most
Evan
variety of players amongst us on the show?
or Nick. I felt like Nick did some.
Dude,
random
I
ones.
tried doing everyone. If I saw their name at the bottom of the leaderboard, I'm like, dude, that man is popping off this week, and then somehow they would do worse than their average. And
Worse
I'm
than
like,
72.
why
This
is this
interesting.
happening?
So
to me?
Ben finishes and picks the fewest. Matt is second runner up and picked the most variety of players by a lot. He picked 86
Good for you,
different
Matt.
players
Wow.
this season, Matt.
It's a great season of picks, then.
So Matt, you can Ben clearly won, but you can have some bragging rights in saying you maybe know the player pool, better.
Ooh, I'll
And,
take that. I appreciate
I don't know if
that.
that's true. I'm just saying.
I hope so. Matt's been
Ben
playing
can say
disc
he
golf for
won.
like 20 years now, so
But
I
to
hope
pick,
I know
so.
the
80
player pool.
to pick 86 different players and come in second in the game is pretty interesting.
I will just simply say I kept my own stats the whole season, and I would review those prior to my picks every single time. And so I have a sweet
There you go.
spreadsheet in both MPO and FPO, and that's what I did. Except
so
for when I was traveling a lot more midseason, I started losing to Ben so much I didn't have all that with me. And I was just busy, click, 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 and it didn't go so
What-
well.
What would be like a perfect week of pop drop lock? You would have to guess both the locks correctly.
So 25
like
and 25
obviously
is
getting
50
first place
points.
is great, but
So you'd get 50 points straight up. And then realistically, you're going to get, if you have a huge drop, you're going to get like 40 or 50 points per drop. So you
Yeah.
might 150.
I'm trying to think of like what would be
200
classified as
points.
like, dang, that was the perfect week. Yeah.
200 plus.
Yeah,
Do we know?
yeah,
do
we'd
we
have to
know,
the math.
Josh, at all what like the best week was points wise? Was it, like 179?
I can
or-
get it. Toss me questions later, and I'll bring them back
yeah,
next week.
Yeah.
We've got.
I'd be
the raw
curious.
data.
Just like that's a pretty cool thing. Like that person potentially performed the best that one week out of everyone throughout all 25 plus or 20 plus events that we did.
Yeah, actually, now that you ask,
I'm
me,
looking
ready?
kinda quick.
188 points.
88. Okay.
Oh, and that
188.
was literally the first event.
Yeah, chess.com.
At chess.com. Sick.
Yeah.
So part
Is
of
that
it,
a little bit
in
skewed?
MPO
Is that a little
drop-
bit skewed though?
In MPO
Yes.
drop, and Brody Smith gave out 57 points.
here's why that's skewed a little bit. The first 3
Because
weeks,
that's averages from last year.
we were using the previous averages. So
Yeah.
you'd want to kind of move probably past that. But
So what's your fourth event? Open at Austin or Texas State? I don't remember what they
yeah,
did.
someone at Texas State got 154. You'd have to keep going to see, but
That's a pretty
yeah.
Anyway, so like 200's probably out of reach. In theory, you could hit it, but yeah, I think if you're anywhere in the 150 range, you
That's insane.
killed it.
Yeah.
You killed it. All right, almost done here. Let's see. Specific to our show, we picked most frequently for FPO drop, Ella Hansen, FPO pop, Madison, FPO lock, Kristen Tatar. No surprises, so I guess we're not MPO drop, Luke Humphreys. MPO pop, Paul McBeth. Most frequently picked. Nick, I think that's you and I a lot of the times.
Mhm.
And then lock, Gannon Burr. So
His pop worked once for me this year when I literally asked him, "Are you going to pop off this week at MVP?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, I'm picking you."
That's too funny.
Yep. So anyway, a bunch of other fun data. Probably not too exciting to read it over for everybody, but it'll be interesting and fun to talk about that as we head into next year as well.
I was going to say it'd be new and improved by next year as well. Come up with different things to make it better.
Yep, for sure. All right, so Matt, do we want to move into a little bit of a game where you challenge us?
Yeah, let's do it.
Talking skills.
We did this last year, or 2 years ago. Ben, you'll remember this. We did disc golf Taboo, and
Yes,
it's
I loved
the
it.
game of Taboo. If you ever played it, you have restricted words you cannot say, but you have to describe the main word. So if the name popped up Nick Carl, it would have restricted words. Like I couldn't say. What could I not say to describe Nick? I don't know. There's going to be a list of cards.
Paul McBeth's friend.
Okay. Yeah, but it would
I don't
say, it would say like it would say McBeth. I couldn't use that word
It
or
would say you
something.
can't say
gotcha.
Macbeth or Olympus,
Right.
Or
Okay.
or Waco lead
So
card.
that's
or,
what will be
God.
up on the screen for our viewers. Our listeners, you're not going to have a screen, so you get to play along. But the way this is going to work is I can actually blind each of you so that you can't see what's happening here.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So we're going to have everyone play along.
So who's gonna be?
So for instance, Ben, can you see us? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Can you?
Yeah, I can
I'm going to fix it. Can you see? You can't see us, right?
No,
We can
no.
see you and hear you. So you just can't see, which is what we want. Okay. So you're back.
That's pretty wild.
So I am going to put on screen the name. It's either a player name or a manufacturer name. And
Do we have
below
teams?
that, well, no, it's going to be 1v1v1 just for fun. Just for fun
Okay.
for everyone to play along. I'll explain how this works. And then below the name, there's going to be words separated by dashes that just simply say you can't say these words. So you kind of want to take a look at those words before you start describing. If you use one of the restricted words, you get a beep beep. If you get it right, you get a chime. All right. So we've done games like this before, but I'm going to go ahead and I cannot be picked, but it's probably going to land on me. If it lands on me, I pick who goes first. If it lands on you, you're first. Okay. So Nick's first. So what we're going to do is blind Nick.
So you're gonna be the host, is what you're saying?
Okay. So Nick,
All
you
right.
can't see
The
us.
director has disabled your vision temporarily.
Perfect.
we can still see
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Nick.
So be
Don't
careful.
forget.
Okay. Okay. So don't pick my nose as I'm thinking.
All right. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to go
Awesome.
ahead and pull this up.
Matt, but who's reading to him?
Let's go to the person to the right, if you will. So Ben will be trying to get Nick to guess here.
So am I getting the points?
It was just for fun. There's
It's
no
just for
scorekeeping.
fun to see.
Oh,
It's
okay.
to see how many Nick can get right is the goal here. So let me go ahead and we're gonna do at least 1 minute here. I don't know how this will go. First
All
round,
right,
1
I
minute.
got
And
this.
Ben,
I got
right?
this.
Yeah,
I'm
you're trying to
dialed.
get
I'm
him to
dialed.
guess the top line, and you can't say.
I got
anything
you.
on it.
All right, so Nick, there's no fault for guessing wrong. Until you say pass, he's gonna keep trying. Okay.
Okay.
And if he uses one of the restricted words, we're buzz him and move on. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ben. Timer
Yep,
started.
got it.
Go ahead.
Zach Melton, caddies for.
Calvin Heimberg.
Yep. Innova sponsored player throws the gator.
Joel Freeman.
Yes. He's a vegan.
Eagle McMahon.
A different one.
Tristan Tanner.
No.
Ezra Aderholt.
Yes. Cynthia Ricciotti's partner.
Kyle Klein.
Yep. He won the MVP Open last year.
Matt Oram.
Yep.
You have 15 seconds.
Innova used to make these discs until they moved away.
Discmania.
Yep.
8 seconds.
Your best friend.
Paul McBeth.
Yep. Where Chad Sullivan and Jonathan Poole, the
Innova
course.
Time up.
Winthrop.
Time up. You just
That-
missed it. Very close.
Oh.
Oh,
Very
I felt like
close.
that Winthrop was on it.
Yeah, you had to say Winthrop Gold.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me bring Nick back
Hey,
in.
that was actually really good.
Those are,
think
yeah.
it's
And so
solid.
I'll say this: whoever has me as the person describing, I feel so bad for because I am so bad at that.
Okay, so next up.
You just have to be a genius guesser then.
All right. So we're moving over to Ben guessing. Josh, you're going to be trying to get him to answer. So I'm going to.
Oh man, I
And
feel
yeah,
like
if
I'm
the
gonna
audience wants to
flub.
play, just close your eyes.
True. I'm blinding Ben. Remember, Ben, we can still see you.
Yeah.
All right, Josh,
Let's go, Josh.
We're going to have you.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, we were just with this one. So here we go. Moving on. I'm going to start the timer. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Josh, go ahead.
Okay, I just showed you this gold inscription
Anthony
autograph
Barella.
card. Yes. Isaac Robinson's sponsor.
Ezra Robinson. Oh, sponsored Prodigy.
Yes. He won like Music City Open and is
Simon.
married to Valerie.
Oh.
Married, right? I'm saying
Mason
married
Ford.
boyfriend.
Mason
Yes,
Ford.
Mason Ford. Okay. Well, I have to see what I can't say. Okay. Throws with the opposite hand of the right hand.
Zach Garland house.
And
Oh,
kinda
left hand Zach Mellon.
long hair ponytail. Usually plays well at USDPC.
Oh, Chris Clemens.
Yes. Okay. I have to see what I can't say. A friend of Simon's, sponsored
Eagle.
by the same company.
Eagle McMahon.
Yeah. Okay. One Salt Lake
Time up.
City.
Go ahead.
Salt
Finish it
Lake
out. Finish it
City.
out.
No, I mean he won the world championship.
As the best shot in the
Salt Lake.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Conrad.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Salt Lake
Like,
City.
it was
was
okay. I stumbled a bit. I'm not. Yeah. Whatever.
All right.
Whatever.
So I'm
You
not
guessed
keeping
well,
track
Ben.
of points. It's just for fun. Nick, you are going to be trying to get Josh to guess. You already apologized. We're going to go ahead
All
and
right.
blind
I'll try
Josh.
my best.
All right,
We're gonna nail
Josh is blinded. We're gonna pull it up right where we left off. All right, so we left off here. Get a minute on the clock. Here we go. Start.
I don't see a name.
Here we go.
Nickname Chanimal.
Fry.
What's first name?
Oh come on! Why all of a sudden am I pulling a blank? Chanimal Fry.
All
I'm
right, pass.
literally pulling a blank. That's so
It's
stupid.
funny to see it on screen, and he can't.
He is really tall and one of our favorite hosts on the show, or one of our favorite guests.
Evan.
Oh, I said
Turns.
tall. Sorry, I beep me.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes, Gannonburr.
Nope. Next. Let's see. Oh gosh,
Nick
this
is
is so
bad.
hard. He puts with the PA3. He's really good, and he wins a lot of big tournaments that are majors over the last 2 years.
Isaac Robinson.
Yes. Loves Brixton sports cards. Throws his own a lot.
Paul McBeth.
Um,
Dylan Cease.
From Wisconsin.
Adam Hammis.
Yep. His family member was in the MLB, and that's how he got his nickname.
Gossage. Aaron Gossage.
All right, time up.
Why can't wait? What's Fry's first name?
Chandler.
Oh my
Fry.
God, so close. Like literally, that's like one of those ones where you know
Matt,
it,
we
but
can
then
see your
you
screen.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you know it, but then it's a brain freeze because you're in the middle of the
Yeah.
game. So stupid.
Sorry, dude. Some of the like
You did
trying
fine.
to not use a word.
You did fine.
And I didn't see tall and Jeremy, so I felt bad. But,
So-
that's what it was. Big
Yeah.
Jer.
yeah.
Okay, so here's how we're going to finish out with what we have left, because we actually have a good handful of these left. We're going to do it for our audience, listening audience, the ones who are listening tomorrow. Because if you're live YouTube, you're going to see these. If you don't want to, you want to play along, close your eyes, to Ben's point. But I'm going to pull this up collectively as a show. We're going to try to get them to guess. Now, the fun part is we're not going to know if they guess it right. So we're just going to kind of give it a little bit for each one. All right, here we go. I'll start.
2016 MVP Open winner.
Just broke up
Texas
with his girlfriend on
cactus.
YouTube.
The cactus.
That's crazy.
Does anybody know who we're
crazy.
talking about?
Yeah, but isn't it like
Texas
something like the
Cactus broke up with his
Yeah,
girlfriend on
well, it's not
YouTube.
Texas
And
Cactus, yeah,
Nick,
maybe
what'd you say? Something? 2016.
2016 MVP Open
Yeah.
winner.
All right.
Yeah.
Bradley
Chipmunk
Williams.
Gate.
Hopefully people
Boom.
were cheering for Bradley
People got
Williams.
that. Come
All
on.
right, here we go. Next one.
Had the most awkward putting form in the world for a while, and then
Was it the horseshoe putt?
Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, horseshoe
putt.
putt. Can actually throw really far.
Fair Lake champion B tier this year.
There's a song that goes,
sponsored by
dun,
Dynamic.
dun,
Oh,
dun,
no, he's
dun,
not.
dun,
One
dun,
of the
dun.
longest last names, possibly.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's see if they got it.
Rhymes with Yake Bleebembeimer.
Dude, that's the
they
best
got
way
it.
to say it.
Just rhymes with. I think that's a rule. No rhymes with. But Jake Hebenheimer. Okay, next one. You can't use those 2 words.
Owner of Finish Line Discs.
Really?
Is he the owner? No, I was going to say,
He's one of- I think he's one of the owners.
Yeah, he's the owner.
I
He
did
started.
not know that.
Always throws the jump man, throws the orange mid-range.
Gannon Burr at Las Vegas Open.
There you go.
Yep,
tattoos.
gonna be a new father.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Jennifer Allen's son-in-law
Throws
or
whatever
will be
discs he wants
son-in-law.
to.
Says whatever he wants to.
So there you go. Drew Gibson. And we could not say infinite and we could not say open bag. The rest we were able to. Okay, here we go. Let's move on. This is a
They make the buzz.
manufacturer. Yeah, there you go.
We can.
The buzz. It's
Yeah,
crap.
I mean, yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't have any limits on the words we could say. Here we go. Next one. Can't say those 2 words.
Okay.
His putt fell out at the bottom of the basket at Beaver State Fling.
And
Discraft.
his putter went out of the island at MVP Open.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Losing to Simon.
Too soon.
He won overseas at a big event last year. This is?
He's
Corey
sponsored by
Ellis.
Idio.
Yep, here we go. Another. Without saying those 3 words.
Took over our podcast studio to film
Really long
a...
hair.
Oh, come
Video.
on, Ben. You can't say that.
You can't say hair.
Oh, Ben gets a beep beep.
We can keep going, though. People got to guess.
Dang
Anything
it.
else we'd say?
I didn't see that.
Switched over to Discmania this year.
2018 USJ DGC champion.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Fan
people definitely
favorite
know.
on YouTube in the world of
Solar
disc golf.
flare. Has a solar flare with this
All right,
video.
we were talking about. Say it out loud, everybody. Alden Harris.
Alden Harris.
All right, here we go. Now, Ben, no, none of those words.
I sometimes record for this player on his YouTube. And he
Wow,
lives
YouTube's not
in
on there.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And he's on MVP. And
Signed a
he,
massive contract with MVP.
Axolotls.
yep.
Axolotls, yes.
And he has to find his balance very soon, or else things are going to happen.
Did you see his video he posted today?
Yeah,
the
I saw
balance
the
disc
beginning.
came out of the box, and he
Yeah.
asked Landon, a kid
the
from up in Maine.
news.
He's like, "What do you know about the balance?" And Landon's like, "Not too much." He's like, "You don't know too much. There's a lot been in the news lately." But anyways, okay. Next up, that was Simon Lizotte. Oh, we already did that one.
Brixton,
Throws.
Jessica Weiss.
Oh, we could have said
Parts
German.
far.
Paul just said.
What'd you say?
Paul said we should have said German.
For,
Oh, Paul's
for
listening.
Simon.
For
Paul,
Simon.
If you're,
Yeah.
yo,
So
Paul,
for
you're watching this.
So I had AI, not with this set of games, but I was trying to figure out helping me for future. And I said, AI, can you help me create Taboo for disc golf if I say Simon Lizotte, what are restricted words? And one of them was German. It's like, don't have German as an option. So, Paul, you
That's
found
pretty
the
cool.
system. But I didn't use that for tonight. Okay. Here we go.
Dylan Cease wanted a shout out, so shout out Dylan Cease. He carried me in doubles today.
Okay.
Dylan
Well-
Cease probably has some good playing cards out there, huh?
Oh yeah,
Dude,
Oh, actually, he
I'm about
probably
to
does,
complete
yeah.
the set of the legacies. I have
Okay. We didn't
seven.
cover
But
this
I'm
one.
saying there's good cards with Dylan Cease on the front. Like
he
Dylan
is a very
Cease
far
player
thrower,
cards.
and he throws with his left hand up in the air, very unorthodox
Jessica
form.
Weiss.
Jessica Weiss's fiance.
He makes a tasty meat snack.
He wears fishing jerseys as his jersey.
Oh, he likes to
Tournament jersey?
smoke meat?
Probably likes to smoke too, but I don't know if that's the thing.
I finished with meat. That's all.
Okay.
All right, here we go. That was Garrett Girthy. This is a
right.
manufacturer that
They make the
sponsors.
balance.
Yeah, we
Total
are. These ones are
Essential
too
discs.
easy.
Essential discs.
Too
Wait, this
easy.
next one, can we be as obscure as possible.
We have to be as obscure. We have to be as
where
far
it's
from
like
normal.
like so far fetched. Like Garrett Gerthy. If someone knew his birthday, he was born on October 10th.
Oh, I
Something
could have
like
said has a photographic memory for Garrett.
Here we go.
There you go. Something like
alright,
that.
yeah.
Something like that.
Here we go. There's no
Okay.
restricted words.
He was sponsored
we're
by
trying to be obscure?
Chimera Discs back in the day.
Oh, see, that's good.
Also
that's good.
sponsored by Deity Discs.
Deity Discs. I'm
That's
sorry,
a
it was
good
Deity
one.
Discs, and he threw the Chimera. My apologies.
Currently
Good call, Matt.
sponsored by Seeger Bags.
Also has some epic stories of world tours. Literally,
Is a
Heavy
very
metal
good
drummer.
yeah,
Yep.
Impersonation of the champ
yeah.
is
Iron
awesome.
Leaf.
Yeah.
The opposite of steel in something that happens in autumn.
I just. Oh man.
I know. I
There
don't
you
know.
The Viper glasses.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yep.
thinking. I didn't
We're
know
getting
what to call them.
closer now. Long hair.
He sells
drummer.
his own smoke
2018 World
rubs.
Champion.
Oh yeah, that's
All right.
that's the most like obscure thing, Ben. in the
I
tour
have
set.
I
It's
have
like,
a container of his
I
smoke.
know
yeah.
you do, and I'm just like I
His
don't
own
like
rubs.
understand where it came from, but it's cool.
All right, that
like,
was
okay.
Greg Barsby. If you didn't know, here we go again. We'll try that again, Ben.
Okay.
This is a course.
Yeah.
With some trees on it.
Christmas trees.
Oh,
That's not
Christmas
obscure
trees.
enough, Nick.
Oh, sorry.
you guys
obscure,
ruined it.
obscure.
Oh.
They have a pool
everyone knows
table
now.
in their clubhouse.
Yes. Oh, that would make it.
The owner is also a very good ping pong player.
I don't know.
I live
It's,
a few hundred yards from this course.
Yep.
You live like a par 4 from the course.
There
It
is
is.
a pond attached to it.
People
called
are like,
Southwood
"Come on!"
Pond.
They're rolling their eyes like we knew right out of the gate. Maple
A
Hill.
Yeah, I know.
freaking chipmunk
Trees.
created the most controversy in the world at
We're
this
almost
course.
to the end. Here we go.
It was Maple Hill.
Okay.
Hates fishing. Does not fish at all.
Does not like
Where's-
to fly.
Oh, we're trying to be
Okay.
obscure.
Yeah, we're still trying to be obscure.
Okay.
Yeah.
No West Coast swing.
Owns a house.
A small house, I think.
I'm not sure.
Not
Is
an
married.
tiny home, but
Sam.
a small
His
house.
dog's name is Sam.
Is
That's the other
married.
one. Is married.
Changed his putting style due to internet complaints.
Ooh, that's a
Oh,
good one.
that's a great one.
That's a great one.
All right, everyone, guess.
Lost to Ricky Wysocki in GMC.
It's
That's
almost
random.
everybody.
One
That's
USDGC
You
one
should have
year.
just stopped. Lost to Ricky.
yeah, right.
Like, it's just
Lost
so
to
obscure.
Ricky.
Well, yeah, if we actually try to be as obscure as
All right,
possible. Right?
that was Chris Dickerson. I don't know how close we are to the end, but here you go.
Oh, okay.
Without saying he commented
He
tonight.
was
Oh, wait.
just in the chat.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. Brody Smith.
Raiders.
A
Raiders.
good
Smith.
golfer.
Brody Smith.
I would say above average golfer.
Foundation owner. That would have been the good
Been
one.
so obscure. Yeah.
That's a 50-50 shot.
All right. That's
50-50
Brody,
shot.
Brody Smith. Let me see. Go ahead.
Oh, go back to the last one. 'Cause I got a great one for it. No. Yeah, that one has a shirt company named after him.
Oh, I have an obscure one. Was
Has a
supposed
tackle.
to stay at my aunt's house for MVP Open, and my aunt cleaned her house thinking he was coming, but
And then he went to a wedding.
he never got back to Matt. So then I had to tell my aunt, "Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you he's not coming."
If his last name is named after a shirt company, his first name is named after
Me.
A show
hose
host.
shop.
A show host.
Ben Calloway, everybody. All right.
Best
let's,
Calvin impression.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Give
yeah,
this one a
wow.
go.
Easy.
Likes
Gnome
to yell
discs.
at starters or volunteers.
What is it? Not gnome discs. DD? No.
People
Sacred
online
Discs
seem
owner.
to be infatuated with like what this person says or who they're dating.
He
or-
just opened a course in Houston
Texas.
called something. Yeah, something.
Disc golf
Long
Hall
hair.
of Famer. Disc golf Hall of Famer.
I think
USDGC
2009
winner.
USDGC winner.
Vibram Open
Yup.
winner.
Oh, that's one of the best Disc Golf Monthly videos out there. I think it's Disc Golf Monthly 77. that round. Sick.
I don't. Yeah.
Played on
Nico
the
looking
Cardistry
at?
Brixton that
Nico
round.
Locastro. I think we skipped the rest of these. There's a lot of
Yeah,
them. here.
wow, you had a lot. Oh my,
We could
Matt
have went-
grinded for this.
I wanted to make sure that we didn't run
you,
out, and
AI.
everyone's like, "Well, way to prepare for the game."
I think that last one was that Gavin Babcock, and then it said
Yeah.
friend vlog German.
Did it say German?
I think so.
It said, "Oh, Gannon, friend vlog Gannon." You could not
German.
use any
Oh,
of those.
Gannon. Sorry, I thought it said German. I was like, I don't think. But anyways, yeah.
German.
I was like, what?
Now that's all you see. All right. Well, that was my game. We had an off-season show for you. I hope you
Yes.
guys appreciated it. There will be more that comes up. News comes up in the off-season like crazy. You can expect it to be slow for a little bit, but we'll keep bringing what we hear about. As I mentioned, Nick, have you ever heard of the Disc Golf World Games? I mean, not disc golf. Never mind, not disc golf. Just the World Games in general.
I have, because a person I used to compete with in Virginia, I think, is on the team again this year. It's the one that's happening out in Australia, right?
Yeah.
So good guess at it. Ben did the similar thing. There is a world championship taking place right now in Australia. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I'll just say
that
one
the
more
same
time
thing?
because it's kind of confusing, but there's something called the World Games. It's the alternate Olympics, if you will. It's like all sports compete at this. And disc
Gotcha.
golf is making its return next year to the World Games. So
Oh, sick.
yeah, so we'll see who wins it. Last people to win it in 2001 was Barry Schultz and Juliana Korver.
Sick.
And ask. I'm kind of joking, but not really. Like, ask Paul McBeth why he doesn't like apply to play in the.
Well, him and Dylan are listening right
World
now.
Games.
So, Paul
Well,
McBeth, why do you decide
We
not
already
to play
yeah,
in these
I know.
games?
Well, we
So-
already
no,
we already talked about that, but I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of not because it's interesting, right? Like, it's a
Yeah.
world game in our sport, and I have plenty of speculation as to why, but just curious.
Right. It is interesting because, like, I mean, Thomas Gilbert's trying, Albert Tom is trying, and others. But it is an interesting thought to be like, couldn't we have sent the best match play team to doubles right now in Australia? Is it just not worth the money and the title doesn't seem big enough? I don't know.
He said he was never invited. He said
don't-
he'd go if invited.
You don't have to be invited.
Ooh.
It was an application, and this is the interesting part about how this was publicized because
Nick
it was an
could've went.
application. Yeah. So Nick, what's your rating?
Yeah, Nick, if you applied, you would have got it.
982 maybe.
Whoa,
Wait,
I
whoa,
dropped.
whoa, whoa,
whoa.
Yeah,
whoa, Nick.
I played.
If you
I played a 1-round C tier. I've played
hold on,
2
Listen,
rated
though,
rounds
Nick,
this year.
listen.
I think.
Listen.
Nick. Oh my goodness, I don't know what they would have done. So, if you were the highest rated of those who applied, you only had to apply and be the highest rated. So Paul's in. He could have just signed up and
Yeah.
gone. Like, it's not even invite. You have to qualify to go to the World Games, and that qualification is happening in Australia right now. But if you were the highest rate, so the last person that signed up, he was 982 rated, Nick.
Oh,
So had you applied and you were 982, I don't know, you might have made it over to Australia. We would have been rooting for you.
is
then-
is that covered on expenses?
No, that's the thing.
That's probably
thing.
the
We
issue.
talked
I gotta
not
tell you.
covered.
Yeah.
But,
But I'm sure there might have been someone to sponsor you.
Is it Kevin
You
Gleason?
know what would have been
who's doing that,
crazy
or am I thinking of
if
something
we
different?
had Paul McBeth, Dylan
Sam
Cease
Henderson.
competing for the world.
Oh, Sam
for
Henderson's
USA
going?
He's there.
in doubles.
I was just
Sick.
chatting with him before. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, why aren't there? I mean, so Albert Tom, as I mentioned, or Thomas Gilbert.
Dumb.
Who else? Finland. Oh, Seppo.
Step
He's
up by
competing.
you, making his return.
I
Good for
know.
him.
So
He's
like,
the
What about Andre Iguodala?
anyways, it is interesting. It's always interesting to me because it doesn't get a lot of attention. Then we're at the World Games with disc golf, and we're all going to sit here and be like, we don't know who these players are, and we've sent our best to the World Games. And everyone watching, it's like, this is the best that disc golf has to offer. And we're like, no, they don't really care about the World Games. It's kind of weird. With diff in general, I think it's respectable and interesting what they do. I don't understand why there's not more.
So I'll give you a quick reason. As I'm looking, flights to Australia are over $2,000. So that would be my main reason why.
Just sell
I'm
your
not going.
decade. Just sell your Decade of Dominance card, and you're good.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm showing mine off.
I'll say this: if I get the Decade of Dominance card, I'm paying off debt and buying a Harley cash, and that is why.
How much? All right, never mind. Like, how much are you gonna get for that?
I don't know. I mean, I hope if Adam's offering $2,500, if someone said I'll give you
someone's gonna offer more.
$5,000+ for it, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Yeah, and then I would only be able to buy my bike. But
I was just gonna say, you're gonna pay off all your debt and buy a Harley with $5,000.
No, I need someone to give me a little bit more money to pay off all my debt. It's not that much, but a little bit more.
Yeah, I was about to say, how are you in debt? What do you got
student
going
loans.
This
on?
podcast is
Student loans.
Oh, student loans. Yeah, I guess
Tell us
I'm
about
in
your
debt
finances.
too, technically.
Yeah, let me tell you about my finances
you need
really
to
quick.
work
I
for
went
some
to
people
a Bible
who will,
college for a
actually pay
year.
you a living wage. Like, I mean, come on.
Well, also, I got to pay rent now. You know, I never had to pay rent before I moved down to Florida. It was pretty nice back in the day. So,
Are you not allowed to like live on Olympus property?
well, I don't have power. I don't have power there yet. So, if I had power there and I bought myself a camper, that actually originally was the plan, that I would pick up something like that and live on the property. But because of how long it's taken to do anything there, it would not have been viable.
All right. Well, let's not talk about it now, but actually, you have given us updates on the show before about the status of all the stuff with Olympus, and table it because our show's wrapping up unless you have the 30-second version. But
yeah, no, I'll give you the 30-second version really quick. We one of the things that we had to do for the county and to get a bunch of permits for the course was to get a massive survey done on a lot of the property. We were able to finally get that done. Hurricane Milton kind of put a stop to everything and delayed it by an extra couple of weeks further than it was already delayed. So that's in the process right now. Once I get that survey back, then I can go to the general contractors, apply for permits for certain things, and that will be able to pull power back onto the property, and then some site planning stuff has to get done. But as of right now, if you are in the Florida area and you want to come out to Olympus, pretty much all of November, we are going to be open. Really excited. We are hosting the Q Series finale. And then we also just, well, I should say not we, but Paul and Dylan just relaunched Supreme Flight. So go over to supremeflight.com, check out all your stuff. We actually just did some filming today for some content for the YouTube channel. So check out Paul's channel and Supreme Flight Official's YouTube channel.
I've got some OG Supreme Flight stuff here in my house.
Heck yeah.
So it's back again. I'm like, I feel like I just need to go get something just to kind of like a reprise of I think I've got some Supreme Flight McBeth signed discs like in the box over here.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff in the works, and so we're excited. But we finally have a lot of things rolling at Olympus. It's funny because everyone else is really in the off season. It feels like Florida disc golf is really kicking into high gear right now. We have a lot of B tiers, A tiers coming up in the next 5 months. We have the Elite Series event obviously coming up in the end of February, which we haven't announced the name for it yet, but we have a name for it. And we have a lot of really, really, really cool things in the works. So we're actually very excited for a really good off season down in Florida.
Have you thought of checkers.com?
We have not reached out to checkers.com, but that would have been pretty funny, actually.
Checkers.
Hey, for what it's worth, since chess.com sponsored the event, I have become an avid chess player. I know we all played for a while, but do you all know I play every single day, blitz chess.
That's awesome.
That's insane. I don't play anymore. I played for like 2 days.
Like world that's like sucked me in.
Yeah,
they've
it is
gotten
very,
some
very
of my
fun.
money.
But
all right. Well, I think that's probably a wrap. I mean, I keep wanting to show other cards. Like, did you say Doug Bjerkes will trade for like paid shoe stuff?
No. Oh, he's not gonna trade that. He already has that.
Okay.
Josh, I want that AB card, and I will do many things, many trades together.
I'm just gonna tell you now, like I'm probably not giving it up. To be honest, sorry.
No, but you're not gonna give it up. You're gonna trade it to me for.
That's literally giving it up.
There might be some of the Legacy series cards I would consider, but
I have like so many of them. Come on, give me an offer.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in.
I tried to tell you all earlier that for me, it's not like an investment. I just like to have them, and then I have them. They sit here. All right, sorry.
Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in on this wonderful Monday night. Apologies for being late once again. We're very, very, very glad you are here. At this point, I don't know if we're turning into a card pulling show. I'm not really sure, but it was awesome having Brixton Sports Cards on the show tonight. Very exciting things coming from Ryan's side. with, I know, a few more announcements coming out in the near future for them. So be on the lookout for that. Shout out to Hooligan Disc Golf 978 for the constant support throughout the whole year. We're very excited for the 2025 season, but we're going to have some awesome off-season content coming up throughout the next few months. Tell someone you love them this week. Catch you guys all in the next one.
That's right, everybody. We'll catch you there. Peace out.